I'm Ragan Cummings, and today I'm going to tell you a little bit about blackleg. Blackleg is a very fatal disease that occurs in the muscle of cattle. It is found worldwide and is mostly found in the beef breeds, ages 6 to 24 months, but can affect cattle as young as 6 weeks and even cattle as old as 2 years. Blackleg is caused by the bacteria Clostridium chavet that can survive in the soil for several years in the spore form. When most people think about someone or something that has a disease, they see this old, sick, fixin' to die anyway image. However, this is not the case with blackleg. Blackleg often affects very young cattle that are on a high nutrition diet, that are growing at a fast rate. You know, they're becoming bigger and stronger like calves usually do. They're usually the best in their group and are often in excellent health. So just how do these best in their class animals get this awful disease? Well, Clostridium C occurs naturally in the animal's gastrointestinal tract without causing any problems at all. During times of stress, such as summer and fall, the bacteria will cross the GI tract's membrane and get into the bloodstream. Summer and fall are times of high stress in cattle because the areas that they live in are often hot and dry, and so they get stressed out because they have no nutrition in the grasses that they eat, or they don't have any good water. Sometimes cattle even get blackleg because they eat contaminated feed. Maybe it's been on the ground too long or something like that. Once the bacteria is in the animal's bloodstream, it moves very rapidly through the animal's body and quickly takes it over. Once the bacteria is in the bloodstream, cattle are usually dead between 12 and 48 hours later, often without showing any clinical signs of having blackleg. If they do live long enough to show the signs, they typically have a high fever that it'll rise and rise and rise, and then it'll all of a sudden just drop, and it'll get even below their normal body temperature, so that the affected area is actually cold when you touch it. The normal core temperature for a cow is 101.5 degrees Fahrenheit. These infected cattle will soon show swelling in their necks and in their extremities. They show this swelling before they start developing lesions on wherever they are infected. And they'll get deep bruises, and the skin in the affected areas will turn into a red or maybe even a really dark brown to a black color, hence the name blackleg. These cattle will also be very depressed, and they'll get lame, and they won't move real good. Since there isn't a cure for blackleg, the only thing that we can do in the cattle industry is try and prevent our personal cattle from getting it. We do this one way, by vaccinating. We vaccinate every calf 3 months to 6 months old, 2 times, 4 weeks apart. Sometimes, even after they're vaccinated, they'll still get blackleg, but if that happens, then we don't get too overly alarmed about it, because sometimes you're going to have one that just gets it. But if we have several that show signs over several days back to back to back, then we'll take all the cattle in that pasture that could be susceptible, and we'll give them a booster shot, and we'll vaccinate them, or we'll medicate them, with penicillin for up to 14 days. That way you don't get new cases occurring. If you have cattle that get blackleg and then they die, the best way to prevent a new outbreak is to burn the carcasses so that the spores and the bacteria that are in the carcass don't get into the soil, and that way the soil doesn't contaminate the new calves and the new herd. Thank you for your time and attention.